Monday Night Football doubleheader is here, and we got you covered, of course, on the Rump Your Sports YouTube channel. I'm JSU. We got Big T in the house, ready to roll. 2 games tonight, Tampa, Houston, Chargers, and Raiders here. Tony, you like how I just did that right there? I definitely just screwed with you a little bit.
Nope, can't mess with me. I'm in the zone.
You didn't get caught off guard that I said Tampa, Houston, and then Chargers, Raiders. That's something that would totally irritate you.
Why? Well, what part of that? That's not
because I didn't like go with like the full names, or I used like the first of one and the last of two. Like that's something that would totally tweak you out.
No, I'm not as much visual as like listening is visual. If it's visual, it bothers me if it looks something wrong. But listening,
so if on my sheet, if on my like 3-max sheet, one of them just said Houston and in LA, and then one said the Chargers and the Texans or something, like you would get just tilted.
And your capital letters and uncapitals in the same names. Yeah, that stuff gets me.
I do Gino, and when I wrote Smith, I always, for some reason, I always capital the SM and then leave the rest just to tilt you. So you'll see on some of my content, you'll see SM is capital and then the rest is lowercase. So
I believe it. Sometimes I know you're doing it.
Oh, sometimes I do it just to irritate you. Like if you ever see it, I know it irritates the shit.
Was Kurt in shambles again last night? I saw you hopped on with him. What was he in? Was he in the bag again on a Sunday night?
I mean, honestly, Kurt and Rubio both. Well, so I think they were both sick. I know Rubio was sick because Rubio was telling me before, like he feels like shit, and so I know Rubio was sick. I think Kurt was a little sick too, or run down. He did look like off though. And I told him that before we went on. I was like, dude, are you okay? And both of them. And Rubio was like, I'm sick. And Kurt's like, I think I'm okay, but maybe I'm a little sick. And I'm like, you both are fucking sick. I can tell. Like, glad I'm away from you guys.
Rubio was definitely like sick.
No, Rubio was fighting through it. He was fighting through it for sure. Because I texted him. I was like, hey, do you want me to hop on the show? And he's like, that would help. And then when I got on, I was like, oh, okay, he's sick. Like, that's why.
Chad is rallying against Kurt. I mean, 2 straight weeks where he was just in shambles. I mean, everyone was. The whole chat's rising up here. I think he had to be in shambles back-to-back.
He might have been drunk. I didn't ask him about the drunk part.
Look at all these comments. I mean, they are. I think Kurt's outnumbered here with the transgressions of the show.
He might. I mean, it was late night, so he could. I didn't even think about that. He could have been drunk.
Rubio was sick, and Kurt was just hammered.
I know for a fact Rubio was sick. Like I know 100% Rubio was sick. So, but hey, you never have to worry about that with me because I don't fucking drink unless Tony forces me to. Unless you force me to on a show for some reason or another. So,
I once saw you do 9 straight shots.
Yeah, well, see, my thing is when I drink, Tony, I actually drink. I don't get the sip of alcohol. I don't get like sipping on alcohol. Doesn't make sense to me. Pretty sure I won the Morning Wood contest. Can't wait for my signed Capri Sun. Did you win it, Rick Majere? I got to go back and look. So I'll go back and look. I'm not calling you a liar, though. I'm going to go back and look. I hope
Rick? He's calling you a liar.
I know he knows. I hope Rick Majerus won. I love Rick Majerus. He knows. So he made me feel sober. And
when you're drunk yourself and someone else makes you feel sober, that means they got after it.
They went hard. The chat must be saying Kurt went hard last night.
The chat is definitely 100% that Kurt was hammered.
Yeah, I might have just been tilted though because I had some decent lineups, but I had 2 games yesterday on the slate that I was like super high on, and one was the Jets and the Bills. That one flopped, but I had James Cook, which was good because he obviously crushed. And the other game I was high on was the Lions and the Bears. And I do this all the time, Tony. For some reason, I had in my pool, I had 3 of the 4 quarterbacks from those 2 games. And guess which quarterback I did not have in my list, even though I wrote about why he was.
Even though I freaking talked on the show for 1,000 minutes about including all those dudes like that in your player pool, you still don't do it.
And it cost me. I had a really good team in the middle.
Just play more dudes. Stop narrowing the player pool, especially if you only like 2 games. If you only like 2 games, how do you not play all 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I'm disgusted.
It is hard to click
myself.
Goff. Like, I get it. It's hard to click him. But if you only got 2 games, you just don't. Russell Wilson, too. We're not eliminating quarterbacks in games we like anymore. I don't care.
I'm just going to say it now, though. Like, the Detroit Lions are going to be the easiest team, I think, to figure out all season long. When they're at home or inside and they can run the football against the team and the other team's not going to give any pressure, like, that's the team right there. Go after that team. Those are the teams. They're going to crush those teams. I knew it. I friggin' knew it, but I'm an idiot for not playing any golf and drove me nuts yesterday. So I was thinking about that last night, honestly.
Prez just snuck in because you had the graphic jacked up. His OCD was violated.
Yeah, I saw it and I was going to go fix it, but then we were talking.
I didn't see it once. Mr. OCD didn't see it. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Dude, this kid has had 2 of the greatest catches for your first 2 catches I think I've ever seen in football history from a guy. Like, the first 2 catches he's had in the NFL, Tony, are just like one-handed nasty snags. Did you see that one on the sideline, or did you not watch some of that game?
He's a beast in general.
He is I don't know how he doesn't get more run. He is a monster.
They're freaking loaded. They got lots of good guys.
Doesn't matter, bro. You can't.
They got a lot of weapons. They already have.
You can't leave that type of talent on the sidelines. I'm sorry. Like, you got to get him run.
They got a lot of pieces in that squad.
They do. It does make me feel good, though. They're starting, like, Gibbs is starting to definitely solidify himself as the dude. And then Amon-Ra was the big first receiver listed in the player pool on the 3-max sheet was Amon-Ra St. Brown last week. So, or yesterday. So
just shows you bet on talent. Amon-Ra, Neighbors, these guys, you just bet on talent. Jamar Chase, even though, these guys seem obvious, right? But yesterday on the show, what if you played those 3 together? Like, Mac Jones with those 3, you'd win you'd buy a helicopter today with all your money.
And there were so many like cheap wide receivers that you could have plugged in for your 4th spot. That was another thing on my 3-max. Of course, it's deleted because we had to go to the next one. But like under my 3-max at the very bottom of the pool, I do like cheap milli maker darts, just like 4 or 5 guys that I think are really good plays, and they're all under 4K. Or around there. And like I had Tyquan Thornton on that list.
When I saw him house one, like I thought I was good because I didn't watch much of the Chiefs game. I'll be honest, I was out doing something. But I thought he was going to have a huge like stat number. When I saw he only had 15 fantasy points, I couldn't believe it.
Dude, Pat Mahomes missed him multiple times.
Again?
Like dude, it was.
When did he forget how to throw a deep ball? Like
so a couple plays before that happened, Tony, he was butt naked, wide open. The 2 defenders like ran into each other, and Tyquan Thornton was just streaking down the left side, wide open. And Pat Mahomes threw it 15 yards past him over his head, just wide open. It was disgusting. I thought, and then thank God he caught that touchdown later because I was so irritated. But man, there were like a ton of cheapies that crushed. You talked about Alik Ayumanyor on the show. He had a touchdown. Kavonte Turpin, I think you touched on, had a touchdown. Wandell, I didn't have any Wandell, but he crushed.
I didn't even have Wandell in my player pool.
I'm blanking on like 1 or 2 other guys that I had on that list. That
it
were
was
like
a high-scoring day for sure.
My boy Malik Washington, unfortunately, I think it was a punt return, but he housed one. He housed one for us. It was a good day with the calls.
What do you mean for us? That's you. You get all the credit for anything he does.
When I say us, I mean the people
who joined
me in the best ball streets, just drafting Malik Washington constantly in the 20th round. That's who I mean when I say us, those people. So that's first reference right there. Oh, and Dayami. Yeah. Your boy, my boy Dayami just
he
saving
housed
me.
that one, but what was his final stat line? How many like
He
targets
had
did he have?
23 fantasy points.
Oh, that's a big guy then. That's a big number.
I don't know what his exact line was. I'll just say this though. He is not like he's gonna be a thing. Like that offense, those guys are gonna get open, and the guy who's getting open is getting the football. Like Diami Brown is gonna have some weeks like that where it's not gonna be as consistent as you'd like, but with those guys, it never is. But he's gonna have weeks because Travis Hunter is doing this thing where he's back and forth, and
why did they have
know.
Travis Hunter out there like just giving the Bengals gifts? Like just
Where?
I mean, he's supposed to guard Jamar Chase.
Oh, one of their corners got hurt like during the game.
They didn't have an option.
I think he was the like backup option.
Tough sledding though. You're taking. I mean, granted, he played a lot of two-way, but you're gonna literally have him play receiver and go guard Jamar Chase. Like, good luck.
I mean, that's like the worst thing you can do. Step onto the field and you're like looking at Jamar Chase for the whole game on defense. Like, and you got to go play offense too. Like, what a rough. That's definitely rough. But yeah, no, I think one of their corners got hurt. And my boy Tootin's coming. He's coming. It's gonna be slow, but second half of the year, Tootin, I think, is gonna be prime for fantasy. Like, did you see that movie put on when he caught that pass, Tony? And he I
love
juked the shit out of that defender. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's better than ETN.
He's better than ETN as long as he can not fumble. He's gonna get more than ETN like at some point this year. It's gonna be like Bucky, but yeah, Felix knows 2-2. My guy Cubs. 30% Diami in Washington. We do love to see that. All right, that's enough of that. No more stroking the meat to yesterday. We got to go on to the two games. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. When we're on, I can't help myself. Sometimes Tony goes in there. Sometimes I got to go in there. But if you could, before we get into this slate, which we're going to go position by position as we do on 2-game slates, hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We've got a ton of free content all throughout the week. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Super easy. And click the thumbs up. That like button helps us out a ton here. Tony, just from a overview thought, before we get into these games and who you like to win and stuff like that, what are you thinking in terms of a 2-game slate? You've had a ton of success with 2-game slates. I think it was last year you hit for like 60-something K on a 2-game slate, and you kind of like called your shot with it. I love the strategy of the 2-game slate. What's kind of your overall thoughts on them?
Yeah, I love the 2-gamers. I love Showdown. Like, as everyone knows, that's kind of what I was known for originally. But I like the 2-gamers even more because it's for the same reason I used to love like FanDuel NBA where you had to play positions. I like when you have to play a defense and you have to play a tight end and all this stuff. So I just love the strategy of these, and you can get creative, which we talked about all of last year, where you can just play a bum in these 2-game slates because there's more bust than you think. There's only 2 games. Sometimes by playing a min price, I mean, as we go through the slate, we'll talk about it. But say there's a 2,500 tight end tonight. You pop them in there, and even if they get 0, it gives you other options in a different build. You play defenses against your quarterback. So many strategies that we like on these slates. So I love the 2-gamers. I like it even more when I think 2 of the teams have an advantage, and one of the teams I think is way better than the other teams. So I think we'll like tonight as we go through. There's a lot of guys that I feel strongly about, and then guys that I just don't like much. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of getting different on these 2-gamers, I love it as well because there's a lot of ways to do it. I mean, you can go super heavy into just overstacking one side because a lot of people still want to build and have a piece of both games or a good amount of both games. So you can do stuff like that. I've always talked about, no matter if it's NBA or NFL, fading one team fully in your builds kind of gets you unique in itself as well. Because like I said, it's a similar mindset where people want to, even if they don't like one game and they like the other game better and they overstack one game, they still want like one piece from this team, one piece from that team. Then they still build that way. So one way to get unique is to say like, okay, let's just say, for instance, I don't like the Raiders tonight, right? I'm just going to fade all the Raiders players in my builds. And if somehow that game ends, 30 to 9 or something like that, and it's going to be unique in that instance. So I'm not saying fade the Raiders. I'm just saying in the thought process of like fading a team in a build that you like the least, it will get you unique. Because like I said, people do like to have something, even if it's just one player from all these teams. So that's one thing I've noticed and I've had success with, is doing stuff like that. Tony, as you eat your pen, what do you think of, like just fading one team in builds?
Yeah. I think the people that have watched our shows, we just love these strategies, these two gamers. We got to break in, though. I don't want to do this because I don't want to go an hour and a half on this show. But, man, though, the Vikings, my boy Carson Wentz gets named the starter next week while we're sitting here. J.J. McCarthy was so horrendous last night. The worst performance I've seen. I love J.J. McCarthy. I admit when I'm wrong. God, he looked bad last night.
Are you already admitting it? Are you taking out?
I'm not giving up on him yet, but he was really. Okay. But now we got an ankle injury going into next week versus the Bengals. Carson Wentz falls. Is he going to be 4K? I mean, what will his ownership be? I got to look. Is the slate up? I'm curious. If Carson Wentz is 4K against the Bengals,
I would assume he has to be 4K. I would assume.
I mean,
that's crazy.
4K Carson Wentz starting against the Bengals.
So wait, so JJ McCarthy, they're citing an ankle injury for him. He's been terrible for, I don't know what, 7 of the 8 quarters he's played in the NFL so far, and they're like, we might have to shut you down for a minute, buddy, and recoup here.
4K Carson Wentz against the Bengals. Wow.
You're going to have a all wood show next week. You're going to be fucking woody.
I don't know, though, because what is his ownership going to be? I mean, we're going to have a high-owned quarterback for the first time in a long time.
What was Mac Jones' ownership last slate?
Not high, but that is not near as the spot of Wentz versus the Bengals.
Why? What do you mean? Why is it different?
Sucks. They're at home and Justin Jefferson plays with them.
Yeah, but is Carson Wentz good?
Is Mac Jones?
I don't know, but I know that Kyle Shanahan's good.
I don't want you to play Carson Wentz at 4K. I want to laugh at you later in the day. Don't play it.
I told people not to play Hollywood Brown and to play fucking Tyquan Thornton. I hate those chalk plays. I probably will end up fading your boy Carson Wentz.
Good luck to you. I'll say that. Good luck to you on Sunday. I don't want to distract us too much. We'll talk about that later in the week.
I'm trying to think. Oh, isn't Aaron Jones, is he out too? Did they already rule him out?
They're going to get a better running back and a better quarterback all in the same game.
Okay. Jordan Mason, leverage play all day. He's going to finally get 2 touchdowns. He's going to finally get 2 touchdowns.
How much
he's going to get 20 plus rushing carries. Forget about passes.
5,400. There's literally no way. I don't want to do this on this show, but I can't help it.
You're doing it to me now because now I'm just thinking about how I'm going to slam Mason.
On top of it, you have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Obviously, they're best friends from the LSU. You can start your team with Wentz, Mason, Chase, and Jefferson, and still have 5K for the rest of your team.
Damn, that is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet right there.
Get us back to this slate, though. I don't want.
You're the one that brought it up in the first place.
Just because it was Carson Wentz, I couldn't even help myself. But I just love the strategies of these 2-game slates. And tonight, there's definitely a team that I don't have to play anybody from, and it'll get me
I agree
different.
with. Let's just start. Let's
It'll
just
just
start
go right
building
into
for
the next week and start firing it. Oh,
Can we
I
just
shouldn't have
set up
even
a
brought it
second
up. I couldn't
stream
help it.
after this so then Tony can get on and just whack off the Carson Wentz for like an hour or something like that? Like, oh my God, look at you right now. You can't even help but smile. You're so happy.
It feels good when you're guaranteed to win money and it's only Monday. Like, man, there's no way I lose next Sunday.
You're guaranteed to win money. Nothing
There's
gets
literally
you
no way. You
going.
gave me 4K Carson Wentz. That's like when I used to get beat hard at 4K and I was
You
was
were
like
you were literally just gave your core out live on the show. It's
I
going to
should
be
just put it
Carson
on the
Wentz.
site right now. How funny would people would laugh all week if the whole sheet was blank and then just my core for Sunday just up
No,
there.
literally, you don't even have to put the full core. Just put Wentz, Jamar, and Justin Jefferson because we know you're playing those
And
guys.
Mason, I'm playing Mason for sure too.
Okay, fine. Put him in there
I'm
too. Put
putting all
those
four.
four guys.
I almost guarantee, unless something changes, that those 4 will be in my core. There's no way they're
Dude,
not.
do you need me to talk for a couple minutes while you go change your shorts, bro? Like, seriously,
I
look at
wanna
that face. I haven't seen you smile like that in I don't even know how long. Like,
best part
that
is
is.
I have a cork board like in the corner of my office. I see my quarterback rankings from about 6 years ago. It still says Carson Wentz number 4.
Did you write that
Right
on a
ahead
sheet
of
of
Josh
paper?
Allen. Josh Allen is 5th.
Oh God. Hey, do me a favor. After the show, can you take a picture of that and post it on Twitter so I can
So
laugh?
that everyone can make fun of me.
Yes, yeah, please do it. It'll be great.
I can't see the rest of the list, but there's some
No, bro,
doozies on
just
there.
retweet
Yeah.
whoever tweeted that he's starting and then at Carson Wentz. Just being like, just so you know, bro, I'm still your biggest fan or something like that.
I am
like,
going to send that out because the list will, I mean, it's a funny list.
dude, you were going to get so, yeah, you got to tweet that. People will love
This
that
had to be a
stuff.
decent amount of time ago, though, because some of the ones that
It
were
had
like
to be your MVP year, right? When you had the MVP bet?
maybe even before that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Some of
All
the
right,
rankings are really weird, though, even from me. Like I had Joe Burrow. It had to be Joe Burrow's like rookie year because he's like 11th on my list. There's no way I would have had him 11th.
It had to be his rookie year.
And Herbert,
like
Herbert was like 12th, it looks like. There's no way I would have had those guys that low.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it was a while ago. It might have been the year.
It's a hilarious list. I'm going to tweet it and say still true and see what people say.
Yeah. I wonder if it was the year that Carson Wentz was on the MVP run before he got injured. I wonder if it was that year.
I need to look it up. I might even say it. I can't see the whole thing from where I'm at. Yeah, wait till Jameis Winston gets traded to the Bengals, too, and we got both of those guys in that game.
Yo, if we get Jameis versus Carson, I will play Jameis over fucking shitty Carson Wentz any day at 4K. I will do that with a smile on my face just to own your Carson Wentz. Please trade Jameis so I can play Jameis. They won't start him, though, is the shitty part. He'll probably still be the backup to Browning or whatever. But all right, back to this slate here, Tony. Before we dive into the positions, do you just want to give your quick thoughts on who you like to win these games? Tampa, Houston, I think it's like a 42.5 total. And then you got the Chargers and Raiders, a little higher total, like 46.5, something like that. So who do you like in these games?
100% I like Tampa and the Chargers tonight. Both road, which is a little concerning as I say it out loud. Both road teams, it does worry me a little, but I think they're both clearly better teams. So I'm on both road teams tonight.
Okay, well, my one day I'm on Houston and the Chargers because I don't think until Wirfs comes back. I don't know if like Tampa's as better as you say they are, and they're on the road in Houston, tough defense. Yeah, so I'm on Houston, the Chargers for the game, but no absolutely strong takes. I do feel like the late game is the game that I think has the best chance of going over. So that can kind of segue into our quarterbacks here, Tony, and I'll change it for you so you don't snap at me on the show live. But Justin Herbert, clearly the best projected quarterback here. Geno Smith, 5,300, Baker Mayfield, 6,500, and CJ Stroud at 5,500 here. What are we doing with the quarterback position? And are you fading any of these quarterbacks?
Yeah, so the two gamers, I talked all yesterday on the main slate about how I want to play a lot of different guys. Two gamers, though, I'm still like Showdown. I want to take more stands on the two gamer just to be heavy. So quarterback is definitely a position. I'm only playing two guys, the two teams that I think is going to win, Herbert and Baker. I'm not even considering CJ Stroud and Geno. I'm fringe with. Maybe I get a little Geno, but he's clearly number 3 for me. Stroud is definitely a fade for me, 100%. And yeah, Herbert. I think Herbert though is like just clearly the top guy with that rushing upside, with great matchup, a perfect setting. I mean, both games have perfect weather conditions, but still, you got that fast turf. Herbert looks really good to me, so I want as much Herbert as I can get.
Yeah, so my two quarterbacks, so this will differ from you a little bit, but my two quarterbacks are going to be Justin Herbert and Geno Smith. I think that Geno Smith, the price really doesn't matter honestly that much. Obviously, Justin Herbert in my mind should be. I don't even understand why he's not the highest priced quarterback. That just makes no sense to me. Why he's 5,900? He should be, you know, just above Baker, probably 66, 6,700 on the slate, and he's not. So he's the clear best play. But I think Geno Smith is the second best play. I trust that the Chargers are going to be able to move the football, and I think it's going to put Geno in a script where he has to throw. And man, Geno looked really, really good. Even though the O-line was a little shaky, Geno looked really good throwing the football. They got a bunch of different weapons. It's another reason I like Geno is the weapons and the prices around those weapons. Man, you can overstack the Raiders easily with all these price tags. It's just really easy, and I like some of their weapons. So I'm going to be big on the Geno and Herbert side, and I'm going to fade Mayfield and Stroud. Baker, to me, I don't know if you watched the game against the Falcons, but like, man, outside of like he does this though, where like he'll look not good, but then he'll make some throws where you're like, holy shit, those throws were sick. And they result in like big touchdowns down the field. That's kind of what happened because like he makes a couple of those throws. Obviously, they're sick. They go for touchdowns and stuff to Ibuka. That's awesome. But there were some plays where he just like didn't know what to do with the football, was running into people. Like, but that's kind of how you go with Baker. So I guess that's kind of why you like him in fantasy, is because even when he's bad Baker, he can still kind of get there. And that's what you saw last week, in my opinion, was I don't think he was great Baker, and he still got there. So maybe he can do that here. But I think Houston at home, I think they're going to give him some issues. And I think the worst injury is a massive injury for Baker. Like that's their best offensive lineman. And I think it showed in their run game a little bit and a little bit in their pass game. So we'll see if, but I think that's another reason why the spread's lower, the total's lower. So I'm lower on Baker, and I'm definitely lower on Stroud. I need to see it with CJ Stroud. He's got to give me, he's got to show it to me here, because Tampa, in theory, he should be able to have some success with, right, Tony?
Yeah, and another thing though about Baker that makes me like him is he's going to be the lowest owned of the four guys because of the price. Like, he's more expensive than Herbert. He's way more expensive than Geno. He's going to be 15% or less on a 2-game slate. So against a Houston team, that definitely intrigues me. And I like Baker with the move we always talk about, where I play Houston's defense because of everything you just said. Get pressure. He's going to take pressure from Houston's defense, one of their strengths. He's a gunslinger. There's no one on this slate more likely. Pick six, get down, go throw a bunch of touchdowns. Like, he just feels like a great 2-game slate play to me. You talk me into Geno, though. I'll stick with 3. I can't play Stroud. I will play 3, though. I'll roll with these three and
Yeah.
take my chances.
Yeah, that is the plus side of Geno, right? He could put his team in a hole early where then he has to feel like he's got to dig them out of. So that is, I guess, the plus side of, I'm sorry, Baker is like the move you said where you play the defense against Baker. I would definitely do that if I was playing Baker.
I honestly like that no matter what, though. I kind of have sold myself on that move always. Even if it's Herbert, I don't
No,
mind.
but I'm saying like he's the best guy
Yeah,
on the slate to
definitely.
do it with, and I don't think it's close. You know what I
Houston's
mean?
going to get pressure on him, too. Like, it makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
it makes sense to me, too.
And
So
he's
I
got
like the
another
move.
thing I like about Baker, though, too, just to polish up quarterbacks, is that he's got the most weapons of the slate, at least that I think. Like, there's a lot of different guys I can throw in there with him.
I think the Raiders are more that way. I think
you
the Raiders
definitely
might
like the
have.
Raiders way more than me. Like, I
No,
think the
I'm just
Raiders.
saying that they rotate enough, but they play still where like there's a handful of guys at all different price points, which makes it easier to stack, is what I'm saying. That I'm not saying they're better than Evans and Ibuka and stuff and Bucky. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's more and there's a variety of spend downs and studs. And even the studs aren't like super expensive, is my point. You know, Brock Bowers is 6,300, and obviously you got Genty at 7K or something like that. But then, like, Jacoby Myers is 4,900. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you go down the list from there of just cheap guys that you can fit with them. So, all right, that's quarterback. I think we broke it down pretty good. I could see Baker go headbutt without a helmet after a long tutty to Evans or a book. That's a Baker move right there. Takes his helmet off just to headbutt one of his guys with the helmet on. I could totally see Baker do some shit like that. But you're down 45 and got Bucky and Jacoby. Do you have a chance? Well, you always have a chance. Your chance is probably slim, but you always have a chance. All right. Running back position, Tony. This is, in my opinion, I think anyways, like the worst position to talk about because I don't like this position, but you got to play at least two. Like you said with the 2-game slate, you have to play these positions. You have to play at least 2 running backs on this slate. How are you going about attacking running back? Because, you know, there's 3, maybe 4 guys if you want to throw the 4th in there. And then everyone else, there's holes in, and I can put major holes in these guys under them. So it makes it tough. But how do you see running back?
Yeah, it's a interesting spot for what we always talk about, where if the whole position busts, you can get creative and throw some savings, and especially when you got Bucky and Genty, the highest owned 2, and they're both 7K. Hampton and Chubb. I mean, man, I'm going to have a hard time playing Chubb. I'll admit it, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
A real
Throwing the
hard
4th
time
out.
playing him, but Hampton 5,800. Like in cash, this is why I love the strategies of 2-game slates, though, because it's so obvious in cash just to play these top 3 guys and just take the workload, take everything you get with them, and just plug it in there. But we don't play cash. We get creative and try to win $1 million tonight. I still always think running back is a spot. We've only got a 1-week sample, right? So all 4 of these teams have like the guy you would consider a clear-cut starter. But I could go to each team and at least make a case for Rachaad White, who I don't love. Believe me, I don't love any of these guys. I'm just saying it's 2-game strategy, and you're saving, and you can go up at a different position. And running back's always the one that'll just get you different naturally. Rachaad, especially if you like Houston, Rachaad White, a little trailing script, only 4,700. Najee with his one eyeball. I mean, who's to say Najee doesn't get dusted off in a spot like this for 4,800? If you don't like Houston, Dare, I mean, 4K. We've seen him get pass game work from behind. And the only other team is the Raiders. I don't think I can play Zamir White. I don't know if I'll put him in that just because Janty's a full workhorse. I think he'll stay. So just based on that alone, and you got 4 running backs for Houston too is another reason I don't like Chubb. I think I might honestly just fade Chubb. I don't like anything about him. But with Genty not having anyone else in the situation, he's my clear number 1, and and he's just a beast. He can do a lot of stuff out there. He's my number one. Hampton is definitely my number two because of the price point. Bucky's my number three. But I definitely think you can get creative, especially with Rachaad White and Najee Harris, because there's a chance that they both get split work anyways, or like 60-40, 65-35. But all it takes that, like you saw, you had the best team last year or the year before because of the backup running back. You never know when Bucky Irving rolls an ankle and all of a sudden Rachaad White gets the whole work on a 2-game slate. And then everyone in the chat, like, you can't place it on injuries, blah, blah, blah. We're not, because Rachaad White can still get work. He's still $2,500 cheaper than Bucky anyways. PPR upside. If the whole position busts, which I think it's at least possible. You got 2 games with low totals. You don't have any like guarantees in these guys. So I'm just saying that's my rankings though. Genty, Hampton, Bucky, and then Rachaad White, I guess, Najee. But I want to play a little bit of those guys on the backups.
Yeah, I mean, so the Bucs situation, Bucky dominated the snap share pretty much like 75-25 with Rachaad White. Sean Tucker barely played. I think he got like 1, maybe 2 snaps. So, like what you're saying, it does hold merit, because if Bucky were to, for some reason, be out, then Rachaad White gets more. He might be someone I could keep in the pool. I don't love him though. The Houston situation is an absolute tire fire though. Listen to this. So Nick Chubb gets 49% of the snaps. Dare somehow gets 26. And then you got Woody Marks at 12, Dameon Pierce at 12, and they play a fullback a couple snaps as well. But there's 4 guys, Tony. There's 4 guys, and Nick Chubb's going to get the majority of the rush work. That was kind of shown. 48% of the rushing snaps or attempts, share he got. And then, Dare was more there for passing. And then same with Woody Marks, but he didn't get used that way. So it's just weird. Dare, I thought Woody Marks would be the Dare. I didn't think they would use Dare is more my thing, and he's still a thing. So that's kind of annoying. I don't know what to take from that. Maybe it's that if I play any of these guys, it might be Dare, because his role is looks like it's in there, set in stone. And if you like Tampa, which it sounds like you like Tampa, he might fit your script if they're trailing.
In the price point, he's 4K. So, again, I know I keep saying the same thing, but if the whole position, say Genty gets 12 and Bucky gets 11, 13.
Yeah. Say Hampton he gets 10, though. He's in the winner probably.
It depends. But if you get these high-priced receivers, because people are going to play the cheap receivers, like the dude in the chat, the cheaper guys will, Jacoby. Say Jacoby doesn't crush, but you got some of these top guys that just knew. There's just so many things that can happen in 2 gamers. Obviously, the obvious play is just play the guys that are on the field.
Last year you won it with a backup tight end in the flex.
That's my favorite move in 2 gamers, though. The 2,500 play to open everything up is just my favorite. Because even you know how nice it is when you play a guy and you don't care what they do. It just doesn't matter because it's your roster construction. It just literally doesn't matter.
And if he gets one lucky goal line touchdown, you're just mint with
I still
that
remember
6-7
too, because it was even crazy. You probably remember it too. You got a good memory.
Yeah, it was Sample or Hudson.
But it was a chop. If I would have just played the better receiving tight end for the same price, what's their Hudson?
Tanner Hudson.
I would have solo shipped for $300K or something.
And I remember this because I like Tanner Hudson. And I didn't like Drew Sample, and you just liked doing the move. You were just I like these.
Just not on that team.
Yeah, so I remember talking to you though after, and you're like, "How the hell did I not have this build?" Because you liked them both. And I remember talking to you, and I'm like, I know, right? That's kind of weird. How did you not have that build?
I think I used 2 uniques instead of 1 was what got me, but
it had to be. But Yeah, I mean, I like it. Anything else at running back that you're seeing? I mean, Genty is the guy there. I don't like the backup.
I think it's just
Najee.
so clear cut. Like the cash build on these slates is just so clear cut to me, where you play those 3 running backs. You just, and honestly, when you're building tournament builds, you should know what the like obvious build is to work off of it,
I,
and then
I'm gonna
pivot off.
play max 2 running backs. I think
You
I'm
are
not playing.
that would
Yeah,
get you different too. Not playing 3 of these guys.
I don't think I'm gonna play 3 running backs. I will say I did think in my head like what a Najee, how a Najee, Omari, and Hampton build could get there if like Najee started to eat into his snaps.
Easily could,
That's a way
and
to
it
get
lets you
different
fade
too.
all the. That's a build that could win you $1 million tonight. You play both
Yeah.
running backs of the Chargers and the defense, and you just hope they just run it like Buffalo did yesterday. You just run the ball all game. The other
It
team never gets the ball.
so Tony, that is like, let's say you don't like the Raiders tonight, right? Which it kind of sounded like coming in, you might not have liked the Raiders
I
as
don't like
much.
the Raiders for sure.
That is a build where you stack the first game plus the Chargers and you fade the Raiders. Like you
Yeah.
just fade them. You play both running backs from the Chargers. Maybe you play their top, your favorite wide receiver or pass catcher from the Chargers, and then you just play Baker and all the studs from game 1, and you load up like that. That's a build that could easily win you $1 million and will be unique because no one's going to want to do it. No one's going to want to play 2 running backs from the same team together, and no other running backs, may I add, too. You just play the 2 and then fade completely the Raiders on the other end. Those 2 things will get you super unique. So
Yeah.
I hate Najee. I might build one team, though, where I play both those guys and do exactly what I'm saying here. And then maybe one team where I play both those guys and I stack the Raiders with Geno on the other end and just say maybe the Chargers just run the football down their throat, but then Geno is the winning quarterback if the first game does bust. So
Yeah.
a ton of ways to look at it. But yeah, max 2 running backs for me on this slate. That's definitely going to be a rule I set here. I think that's everything with the running backs. Let's go to the wide receivers, where there's a little more to talk about here with the wide receiver position, Tony. I mean, you got Nico, who kind of disappointed a lot of people last time out, first game. Only 5 targets, 3 receptions, 25 yards. I will say Rams team is good. That's a tough matchup going there. But now they're back home. A little more of a friendly matchup too against Tampa Bay. Drake London got peppered with targets. Didn't smash, but got peppered with targets. I would expect them to get Nico involved very early in this matchup. But what are you looking at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, so let's just go team by team at the receiver. Like you said, with Nico, so overall at the position, you got the highest price. They just make it so soft. Is another reason that the running back thing can win you $1 million is it's just so easy to basically play whatever you want on these slates. It's just so loose of pricing. But yeah, so you got the number 1 Nico from Houston. You got the number 1 McConkey from the Chargers. Evans and Ibuka are somewhat close. And then Vegas, you got the most mispriced guy of the whole slate, Jacoby Myers, only 4,900. So if you just break it down by team, though, which is what I like to do I should probably do this for main slates too. But 2 gamers, I just like to see like competition for targets. Nico is he's just not battling anyone for targets. I mean, you can play these guys. I mean, the 2 Iowa State guys, Higgins and Noel, solid. Hutchinson, they got 3 Iowa State guys because Hutchinson was before them at Iowa State, I think. They just love the tree. And then you got Justin Watson. So, I mean, I don't really – Nico's got the clearest path for targets of anybody. But he's also going to be crazy high owned because of it. And like you said, I kind of like the strategy of fading a team. If I just fade Houston, you're guaranteed to be unique. So, I mean, the optimizer gives 1 player everywhere. Nico's going to be 60% owned. I think he's the best play. I will say that to start out with. I think he's the best receiver play for sure. But on 2-gamers, you just can get weird. And okay, so Tampa, you got a lot more complex. You got Evans and Ibuka are both awesome. Sterling Shepard played a ton last week, and he's 3,100. So he's a clear-cut value for me. And I like Tampa just to spread it around a little bit. They got so many guys, which is another reason I like Baker. You got guys you can pair him with. You can overstack, like you talked about in the beginning, 2-gamers. Overstacking is a great move on 2-gamers because chances are, let's face it, one of these games probably sucks tonight. Both totals are similar. I mean, you watch that. What if last night was a 2-gamer and Minnesota was the one game? I mean, how happy would you have been to fade that game? I mean, it was a train wreck out there. I'm not saying no one got there. Bijan had a decent game. Obviously, Algier scored at the end and stuff. But still, you get the point. And then the Chargers are very spread around because you got 3 guys, Ladd, Keenan, Quentin Johnston, who have upside, right? And that's another reason I like to play Baker and Herbert tonight is because I can just double stack them up both ways for sure. I've always hated Quentin Johnston. I think you have too. He can't catch. But I just have heard nothing but good things about his upside, his ability. I think he's one of my guys tonight that I just have to play. And honestly, I don't hate the idea of going Quentin and Keenan Allen instead of McConkey. I think that's actually could be my preferred route. I love Quentin tonight. And I never thought I'd say that. I'm sure he's going to 70-yard drop tonight where he's wide open or something to bring me back to reality. But I just have heard a lot of good chatter out of the Quentin camp. And then Vegas is the other team where, again, a lot like Houston, I think they have one guy. I don't like Trey Tucker. I don't like Thornton. I don't like the Raiders. So I got 2 teams with one guy. And honestly, the 2 chalkiest guys at the receiver position, right? And for good reason, though, because they don't have any other competition for targets, really, at least at the receiver position. So that's why they'll be the highest owned. I actually like the other route better, though, almost like a college route where I double stack or even triple stack. Don't be afraid to triple stack a team on a 2-game slate where you play 3 guys from you play Herbert with all 3 of those receivers and don't play any other receivers, all that stuff. This is why we love 2-gamers and why we love talking about it, right? There's just so many things you can do differently. And as much of a rant I went on yesterday about just putting it in SaberSim, spreading out, 2-gamers are the exception for me still. I think you go in and you just go and do your own thing and get creative on this and try to win $1 million. The same line we say all the time. It's $20. Put 5 teams in tonight. $20. That's $100. If you go to a dinner and a movie with the lady, you're gonna spend more than that. So just pretend like that and get creative. So I love it. I feel really good about receiver tonight.
Yeah, I think Ladd's the best receiver overall tonight. I think he's gonna smash in this matchup here against the Raiders. So he's my number 1 guy. He's the guy that I'm gonna be pushing my chips in. I think everyone watched, the last game. They saw, QJ be a thing. I know he's not projecting as well. Keenan Allen, though. So there's decision points with that team. With Houston, everyone just sees Nico, right, Tony? I mean, you brought up the 4, the 4 guys that they have below them, but no one's thinking about that. It's Nico, and then there's just massive fall, right? And then there's all these other guys where Ladd, I think.
I'll have to settle for 500, Josh.
There you go. Where Ladd, I don't think the fall off for people is as big with Keenan and QJ, or at least how people perceive the fall off being. And I think this is a great matchup for Ladd. I know he crushes man, but he also crushes cover 3. The Raiders played one of the highest amounts of that in week 1. I would expect a heavy dose here of Ladd McConkey. And I think he crushes there in that spot. So I do like them a good amount. But after that, I get your point. I think Mike Evans is in a tough matchup, but he's Mike Evans. He can dominate. I think it's interesting that Mike and Emeka are kind of close in pricing. What would you do with those two, Tony? Because I'm like debating it myself because I think it's going to probably be one of them. I think one of them has a decent game. And I think getting this right is going to help the slate. I don't know if both of them are going to smash. So do you have a preference between Evans and Ibuka?
I like Ibuka more for sure, but I mean, again, we've done so many shows that I always feel like we say the same stuff over and over. But Mike Evans, I never like feel great about Mike Evans, but he'll have the 4 or 5 games a year where he just absolutely nukes. And like I like Ibuka more though, to answer the question. Mike Evans, I feel like he does better in tough matchups too.
This is a tough matchup.
That's what I mean. And like he always, and I like right now, I don't have him in my main team. And I'm just thinking in my head, like he's going to nuke on me again on a 2-gamer. He's just going to nuke me. But I like Ibuka. I think Ibuka is just really, really good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Ibuka too. And I think he's really good as well. So I'm with you there. You talked about Trey Tucker, Thornton. You don't like them as much. I love the price points though. And with Geno Smith, like they're perfect stacking options. Like look at this, Jacoby for 49. You got these two guys under 4K. I mean, it's just so easy to overstack this team. I do like it from that standpoint. I saw someone in the chat say Jaden Higgins. I don't know. It's really tough to decipher between Higgins, Hutchinson, Knoll, Watson. I'm not playing Watson, Tony. I'm probably not going to play Hutch. So it is, for me at least, it's between these two rookie Iowa State guys. And I kind of lean Knoll just because I think he's going to be like the lowest owned outside of Watson of those guys. And him and Higgins played like similar in terms of routes run. Like it was almost the exact same. I think they had like 41%. So it's not like one like crazy out snapped or out routed the other, which I thought would be the case. Honestly, coming into the year, I thought Jaden Higgins would be the guy who dominated the second, and then it wasn't him; it was Hutchinson. So I don't know if you have if you like either of those guys, or if you have a take on that cheap Houston receiver, because you already said you don't like the cheap Raiders receivers. So I'm wondering, you must like one of these cheap Houston receivers. If you don't like the Raiders receivers, I mean, I kind of like Sterling Shepard here at 3,100. I think he's a really good cheap option. But what are you doing with the Houston guys?
This is where I make my difference in 2-gamers. I really just don't like to play. When I know what I'm getting from these top guys at receiver, I just like to play these top. I don't like to punt. Like Sterling Shepard, people are going to like. He was on the field a bunch. It's Sterling Shepard. Like we've seen him for 15 years. We know what he is. I don't like plays like that. I'm definitely not going to like the Raiders guys.
I just like they had 2 snaps. I think it was inside the 10-yard line, and he played both of them.
Even if he gets a touchdown, though, I just don't. I get it. He's 3,100. He gets a touchdown. He gets 30 yards.
He gets a touchdown. He's in the range of your cheap tight end receiver that scores that bullshit touchdown at the goal line.
Yeah,
gives you like 8.
It's still the only time I like playing those cheap tight ends is if that 600 means something. Like I don't. If I can fit either one of them, I would play Sterling Shepard, obviously.
What I'm saying to you though is if he catches a touchdown, he's getting double digits. Like Drew Sample, if he catches a touchdown,
I don't know if that's good though.
You wouldn't take double digits from if I gave you 10 points from a 3,100.
I would put it in there if you gave it to me, but there's a lot of chances he gets 0 too.
You wouldn't put it in there. You would lock his ass. Well, yeah, I know for a fact you would. You would just lock him in all your lineups. I don't like
those builds though. It's just not how I like to build on the 2-gamers. He's fine though. Right. I think he's fine. I just don't. So you have no I think he's going to get like 3 fantasy points.
So you don't want anything to do with these cheap Houston guys at all.
And again, I want people to be clear. If I play 150 teams, some of these guys might sneak in there. I don't want to win with one of them, and everyone's like, "You said no." But trust me, you will not see these guys on my main team. I promise. My main, what is it, a 444 tonight, 333, whatever it is.
Yeah,
You will not see these guys on my main team, I promise.
yeah, that's fair. I'm with you. They're more MME.
And
The
I don't
$20.
like them either, but it doesn't mean they're not
Right.
going to sneak in on a couple builds.
Yeah, they're like $20 plays for me too, 100%. But all right, I mean, I think we touched on it enough. You talked about it. You don't like Tucker Thornton. I kind of like Thornton. I know Tucker played a lot more, but I do like Thornton. It's interesting they're projecting similar here. I would have thought Trey Tucker would have been much more popular with the cheaper tag too, and the fact that he played more, but. I guess not. Anyone else you see before we move to tight end, Tony? Like we didn't touch on that you would play a sliver of?
Nope.
All right, let's go to the tight end position here. I honestly like some 2-game slates, tight end positions, not very interesting. I think tonight though, we got a handful of plays. I mean, a ton of cheap tight ends. You got the one stud at the top, which I think he's playing. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but I think he's playing. And, he's a little banged up, but he's going to play through, I think it was a knee injury or something like that. But the news of that game last week was Michael Mayer, before Brock Bowers even went out, played a crap ton. And he, obviously he outsnapped them. They really like Michael Mayer. And Tony, I know you've talked about him before because I know you liked him. Like as a player, just as a player, you thought he was really good. But man, I did not expect him to come out here in week 1 and just outsnap. But again, like I said, this was before Bowers even went out. Like they like this kid a lot. And then the other thing is Dalton Schultz. I think he's going to play more because Cade Stover is I don't know if he's done. I think he's done for the year with that injury that he suffered. So Cade Stover out. But Harrison Bryant sitting here at 2,500, Tony, the magical price point. And I know Harrison Bryant. I've seen him play football. He's decent for a backup tight end. He's your perfect backup tight end. Like he's not your starter, but he's a backup tight end that could go, give you 2 for 30 in a touchdown, Tony, or something weird like that. So what are you doing at tight end? A lot of options, and they all seem fairly similar.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with the Bowers thing just because he's banged up. I mean, even when you look further into the numbers, so he played 32 snaps. Mayer played 40. Bowers ran 26 routes, though, in his 32. Mayer only ran 16, 8 targets to 4. I mean, I know Mayer as good as anyone. I watched him play basketball against my brother in high school. He's just an animal. He's just a beast. Like he's just but he's also got mental problems, and I love him. I love him as a player. If Bowers was somehow like he's not going to be out, but if he was out, Mayer would be like the easiest play on the board. I don't trust it though, and I feel like Bowers is a little underowned tonight. And I underprojected. I just feel like I want to slam Bowers and take my chances. It doesn't mean I won't play 2 tight ends, though. And I think that the part I like about tight end, though, is like I don't like Dalton Schultz at all at 3,200. I don't see upside. I don't see – and he's going to be 30 to 40% owned, Dalton Schultz. Cade Otton, like I don't – how many weapons do I like from Tampa before Cade Otton? I think I would name 5 or 6 guys before Cade Otton. He's going to be 20% owned or something. I just think it's a play Brock Bowers. Maybe play Mayer if you wanted to because I like his talent. And then Harrison Bryant, like you said, or Conklin. I think Conklin, I would play Conklin for sure over Bryant. 400 does make a difference. And the nice part about Conklin, he's still cheaper than like the Shepherds and the stuff like that where – you do get a little bit of a price break, but my rankings are Bowers and then just right down to Conklin and Bryant, and then Mayer would be my 4th. But I don't like Dalton Schultz at all. I don't like I just realized Will Dissly's 2,800 too, so I like him too. I don't like Schultz, Otton, and I'm under on Mayer too. I actually don't like Mayer all that much. So give me Bowers and give me the 2K guys.
So right now, the way I look at it, I like both Houston tight ends because I don't love the Houston receiver cheapies. I like Nico Collins, but I don't love. So I think the Houston tight ends are like number 2 and 3, honestly. And I like Harrison Bryant. I think he's going to play a decent amount here next to Dalton Schultz. So I'm the opposite of you there. I like both those guys. Um, I love Will Dissly. I watched that whole game. I did not expect to see that Will Dissly outrouted Tyler Conklin 2-1. I did not think that going in. I did not see 21 routes to 10 or whatever the final routes were for those guys. Cause in my head, it looked like they were almost splitting or very close to splitting, and it was not a split from what the numbers ended up being. So I was kind of stunned by that. But I like both those tight ends as well. So like those are the two tight end rooms I'm like heaviest on. Um, I don't know exactly what I want to do with Brock Bowers. I haven't like finished up all my builds yet, but I'm probably going to be lower than the field on Brock Bowers here. That might be one of my big stands, is higher on the receivers for the Raiders and lower maybe on Brock Bowers. You know, I already know that they're super high on Mayer. They like him. So if Bowers is limited like at all, I think they're okay with it because they're already fine with Mayer playing a ton anyway. So I know that going in. I mean, yes, they use Brock Bowers more specifically in passing down situations. But like Mayer can still catch the football, right, Tony? Just because he's used more in one way doesn't mean he can't catch the football. So yeah, I mean, those are the three teams. The team I don't like is Cade Otton. That's the Tampa tight ends I don't really like at all here. He's not projecting that well anyways, but I guess those would be my two stands, is, you know, lower on Brock Bowers in the field, and don't like the Tampa tight ends here for me are the two takes. So yeah, that's tight end. Before we get to finish here, give our plays of the day. Defenses, of course, we'll get to those. Check us out, rumpuresports.com. Rumpure Premium, if you want every sport for one price. Rumpure Premium gets you all sports, one price, plus Sabre as well. If you want the best opto in the business, check us out. Sabre Sim, that is the sim you want. Rumpure Sports Premium will get you all of those things, every sport, one price, plus Sabre Sim. And if you just want the single sport, if you just want football, that's fine too. We've got the single sport packages just for football. If that's you, sign up, get in the Discord, talk some ball with us, add us with your questions in there, all the way up to lock too. You can just shoot us messages in the Discord, and we will try our best to get to all of those as well. Big T, defenses, final to talk about here. Kind of touched on it a little bit already. I like the Chargers because I like the Chargers with my Geno stacks. So I play the Chargers with Geno. Like I said, the Raiders offensive line is shaky, so I could see some turnovers. Wouldn't shock me there. And then I like the Texans. I like those two defenses the most. I think those will be the two defenses I'm highest on. What are you looking at for defense here on this slate?
Yeah, it's going to be just a crapshoot for me. I mean, I honestly don't have a defense that I even think's like the best of the group. It's so similar to me. These four defense. I guess the Raiders would clearly be the last, just because they do get pressure, but the Chargers, I think, are the best offense on the slate, and Harbaugh's just such a good coach that the Raiders would be fourth, but the other three I could make a case for. And like, I legit might set a rule, whoever my quarterback is, give me the opposite defense just to be unique. And I'm okay with that, honestly. It sounds crazy, but so the only quarterback I'm not playing is Stroud, which would mean my defense should be the Buccaneers, but that's just not how I'm going to play it tonight. So I really think I'm just going to go opposite of my quarterback and take my chances to be unique, because I don't have a strong take anyways. If you ask me who I like the best, I would say Chargers or Bucks, but not by much. And like, look at the ownerships even. They're all somewhat similar. I want to play
Yep.
opposite the ownership. So the Texans, I should be the lowest on the Texans of any. But the problem is, like you said, if I play Baker, I feel obligated to take the Texans. Like I feel
I don't know how
obligated
you don't play the Texans
Yeah.
if you play Baker. Like he is the best to do this with.
100%.
If I was playing Baker, I'd be shoving on all my Baker teams with the Texans.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I look at it, though. All right, let's get our plays of the day out there. Brian says, just want you to know to get my gear package tonight. When the Bucks win, my 3-pick parlay will hit then. Good luck to you in your 3-pick parlay, Brian. Hopefully you hit that and take it down. Big T, I mean, play of the day, you can give one cheapie and one just overall best play. I mean, like who you think is just the top tier guy that you're not fading on this slate, and then give like a low owned cheapie as well. Do you got 2 ready?
Yeah. 2, just like we normally do. That's what you said, right?
Yep.
So let me pull the ownerships up real quick. My favorite play is definitely Quentin Johnston on the slate. I think he's got tons of upside, and I just like all the reports. What's his? Yeah, he's low owned, so he can be my low owned guy. I wasn't sure how low owned. He's low owned for a 2-gamer though. So like he'll be my low owned guy and my cheap guy. What did I have to give cheaper than that?
No, I don't care what you do. That's fine. I mean, he's fit. They're saying he's going to be 15%.
Yeah, that's crazy low on a 2-gamer.
I honestly think that's bullshit. I think he's going to be higher than that, but still, even if he's 20.
Like he's not going to be higher than like 20, 25 though, no matter what.
I don't think he comes in higher than 25, so that's fine either way.
Let me see if there's anyone that's I mean, just as far as like just rock solid, who I think the best play of the slate, it's Jacoby Myers. So he can be my high owned guy, and my low owned guy can be Quentin. And I think they're 2 of the first guys I'm putting in my lineups.
I like that. Yeah. I like the Jacoby Myers call. My favorite play overall is Ladd McConkey, though. I'm definitely. You will see almost all of my team.
Because I like it when we disagree, because he's one of my least favorites. So I like.
Yeah, you will see almost every single team I have will have Ladd McConkey.
I shouldn't have even said I don't like him, because then it just makes you want to just play him even more than you already.
Jam him in there, people. Jam him in there. If you like big nights, Ladd McConkey's on the way to a big night here tonight. So play Ladd McConkey if you'd like. If you want a couple drop passes, you can play Quentin Johnston. He caught them all last week. He's not catching them all this week. All right, and then my low-owned play, I thought about this here. I'm going to go with a tight end, though, and it's going to be – and again, coming into the year, I liked Tyler Conklin. I thought he was going to be the starting tight end. I thought he was going to be the guy that they would play the most. And I mean, this could still change, but through week 1, it was Will Dissly, like 21-10 on the routes run. He dominated the snap count as well. I think it was like 60-30 or something like that. It was Will Dissly. I was surprised, but he's coming in under 10% owned. That just Chargers love their tight ends. They use their tight ends a ton. Like, and honestly, too, on my Herbert teams, I could play both these guys. Like, honestly, like I might do that on some of my Herbert teams where I play Ladd and I just go down and play 2 tight ends from the same team. But I'm going to go with Will Dissly as the low-owned tight end here. I hope that Tyler Conklin doesn't come out and do the thing and just own me, but I'm going to take some Will Dissly here, Tony. How do you like a little Will Dissly tonight? They make fun of me?
I like it. I like the reasoning. They like tight ends. I like the price. I like Conklin, too. I like both those. I like both the cheapies. But it brings me to the last note, because I agree with you. Leave salary tonight. Like, it's easy to build teams you like. Like, if you get to the end and you got like 2K or something left, don't feel like you have to go up. As long as your team makes sense to you and everything kind of jives like Showdown, don't feel like you got to just go up. You don't have to.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's gaps, Tony, but seriously, like looking through the gaps, and I just brought up Will Dissly, so I'll use him but he's 2,800, right? Like you go to the wide receiver position. Look at the 4,300 range. Jaden Higgins. Could Will Dissly outscore Jaden Higgins? I think he could. Could he outscore Thornton, Tucker, Shepard, Hutchinson, all these guys? Like, yeah, of course he can. You know what I mean? Like, so you can leave gaps where you think like your players can outscore. They like that could easily happen. So just look at it that. Same thing with the running backs. Like, could he outscore all these running backs after honestly Hampton? Like, yeah, he could outscore every single one of them. That I wouldn't shock. It wouldn't shock me honestly if like out of all these running backs, only 2 of them hit double digits. Like I would not be shocked if that was the case tonight. So that's gonna do it here for the show. Yeah, your saber bottom. I wouldn't even like honestly just project where you're gonna project and then let it run and see the teams that it hits. It's gonna give you some different teams, but that's good, honestly. Some people won't do that. Some people will, push the min salary much tighter, right, Tony, on this slate. So that's a way to get unique from some of those people just in general. But
100%.
All right, if you want more, check us out, Run Pure Sports. I got my 3-Max content. It's already up, too, on the site. So if you are a member, my 3-Max content's already up. We did all the slates. So both Showdown slates we're going to have content for, and then the 2-game slate, of course, we're going to have content for. So cores, my 3-Max sheet, Big T's player pool for all those slates, Discord, the playbook, everything like that. We got you covered.
My 2 games up with yours too, so we got it all up nice and early. I still got to do my Showdown stuff, but my 2 games up, all of it.
See, there you go. We're ready to roll at Run Pure Sports. Hopefully, if we can't ship 500K, one of you guys watching can ship 500K tonight on DraftKings. Good luck to everyone in your DFS in betting on DK. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Print Factory. Until then, for Big T, I'm JSU. Good luck in your content.